Welcome to Banking Part 5. Today's lesson is about bank statements and deposit slips. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to do the following. You will know the difference between a deposit and a withdrawal. You will know how to analyze and interpret a bank statement, and you'll know how to complete a deposit slip step by step. There are 3 words today that I would like you to be familiar with. The first 2 are deposit and withdraw. These 2 words are opposites of each other.
These are opposites.
A deposit is when money is placed into a bank account, and a withdraw is when money is removed from a bank account. The last word is not a good word. It is an overdraft. An overdraft is a fee that is charged when you withdraw more money than exists in your account. Overdraft fees can range anywhere from $10 to $35 depending on your bank. Now we see an example of what a bank statement looks like. A bank statement prints all transactions which have occurred in a specific time frame. Typically, these are printed about every 30 days or once a month. And you'll see the following items: deposits, withdrawals, your current bank account balance, and any interest that has accumulated on this account within the past 30 days. Even though this is an official document coming from your bank, you should always check bank statements over for accuracy. So now we have the same bank statement, but a little bit larger on your screen. Look at the top of the statement. We see the name of the bank that the account holder belongs to. We see the account holder's name and his address. We see the statement period, which reflects all transactions that were printed in the past 30 days. And we have the account number that belongs to the account holder. So think about this. If this is a document that is being mailed to your house, be very careful because it does have the account number listed on there. Many times, people might choose to have the bank statement emailed to them electronically, so it's not in the mail. Now, in the bottom half of the bank statement, we have a list of all the transactions. These transactions are in chronological order by date. We have a description of every transaction. We have a column that reflects any withdrawals that have been made, any deposits that have been made, and on the far right, we list the account balance that's been updated for every transaction that has occurred. So take a look at all the transactions that we have listed on here. Notice October 16th. The account holder went to an ATM machine and he withdrew money. That ATM that he withdrew the money from does not belong to his bank. It belongs to the Interac Bank. That's not his bank. So because of that, he has to pay a fee of $1.50 the same day because he did not use his own bank's ATM machine when he made that withdrawal.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Further down the list, we see that right around November the 3rd, he had a check withdrawn out of his account for $100, and his balance ended up being $648.02. That's okay, it's a positive number. But then, 3 days later, a mortgage payment was withdrawn from his account for $710.49. Well, because he only had $648.02 in his account, he has now overdrafted and his account balance has dropped into the negatives. That is never a good thing. So now, the next day, he has incurred an overdraft fee of $5 on November the 7th. Now, overdraft fees typically can run anywhere between $30 to $35. So $5 is pretty lenient. Further down the list, on November the 8th, he has another fee, and this fee was just because it's a monthly account fee. Some checking accounts do charge you a monthly or annual account fee just for having the account. Be careful of that when you sign up for a bank account, because I would avoid any account that does charge you a monthly account fee. So, by the end of the month, he ended up with a negative account balance. Okay, now we're going to move on to deposit slips. A deposit slip is a form that allows money, in the form of either cash or checks, to be deposited into an account.
Excellent.
Anytime you're making a deposit into your account, you need to have the following items with you. You must have a deposit slip, any cash that you'd like to put into your account, as well as any checks. These deposit slips can become pre-printed, or you can get blank deposit slips at your bank. The pre-printed deposit slips already have your name on them, including your account number and routing number. And these pre-printed slips are found in the back of your checkbook. Now, if you don't have a checkbook, you would have to go to your bank and retrieve the deposit slips there. But because they are blank, you would have to fill out your name and your account number on those slips. Now, deposits can be made at any financial institution. You can go to a bank teller face-to-face and make your deposit. You can make a deposit at an ATM machine. You can make deposits by mail. And in our last lesson, we learned about remote deposits that you can make with your smartphone. Now, this is what a deposit slip looks like. It's pretty basic. You have a place for your date, a place to write your cash, any checks you're depositing, and then your total amount of deposit that you're making. The first thing you need to do is fill out the dates. The next thing to do is to write your signature, but only if you're asking for additional cash back when making this deposit. So when would someone do that? Well, let's pretend you're making a deposit of $100 at your bank, but maybe you want some of that cash right now. So if we're depositing $100, but we would like the bank teller to give us $25 of that deposit, we would sign our name on this deposit slip notifying the teller that, yes, we're making a deposit today, but we'd like some of that money right now instead of depositing all of it. That is the only time you write your signature.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Okay, on the upper right corner of the deposit slip, we have a place to write any cash that we're depositing. In this example, Sally Smith, she's depositing $50.55 of cash. On the next row down, we have an area to list any checks. Now, on deposit slips, you may or may not have enough room on the front to list all checks that you're depositing. In this example, we only have room to list one check. So, to do this, you list the check number on the left column, and then you write the amount on that check. So, if Sally Smith is depositing one check for $154.01. But what happens if she wants to deposit more checks? We don't have any room left. So, we have to turn our deposit slip over to the back, and here we have more room to write any additional deposits. So, she's going to make another check deposit of $20, and this is according to check number 601. And that's all the checks that she has to deposit for today. So, on the bottom of that deposit slip, it says total to enter on the front. So, we have to total all the checks we have listed on the back. In this case, we only have one check for $20. So, our total is $20. So, we're going to take that $20 that we have in the back, and on the front of the deposit slip, we have a place to list that $20. It says total from other side, $20. That's all we had on the back. Our next area is the subtotal. The subtotal tells you to stop where you're at and add up everything that you're depositing so far. Okay, we're depositing $50.55. We have one check for $154.01. We have another check for $20. So we add up all three of those numbers. We end up with $224.01. Now, I asked you earlier to only write your name or sign your name on this deposit slip if you're asking for additional cash back. So in this example, Sally Smith is asking the bank teller to give her $30 of this total deposit in the form of cash. So now we're taking that subtotal of $224.01. We're going to subtract that $30 because we're not depositing it. We're asking for that cash to be handed to us right now. So our net deposit, it doesn't end up being $224.01. It's $194.01 because of the fact that we subtracted the $30 that the teller is going to hand to us today. It's never a bad idea just to verify the deposit slip, check it over, check your math. before you hand this to a bank teller. Now, you should be able to do the following. So now, you should be able to do the following. You should know the difference between a deposit and a withdrawal. You should know how to analyze and interpret a bank statement. And you know how to complete a deposit slip step by step.
Very interesting.